There. All right, we got about 200 hours on the LS Tractor MT342. Figured it'd be a good time to talk about, what a good hard year of use has done to the tractors, stuff that's failed, stuff that's held up. And while I'm doing it, I'm going to do a little early service. I don't know, I guess I'm a little anal or whatever, but I'm going to do the service earlier than the factory recommends. So yeah, we're going to take a book. That's a book there. And we'll take some tools, which I don't have in my hands, and take some filters and fluids and go get at her. All right, here we go. Okay, so we're draining the oil right now. I've already done a oil change video on one of these, so I don't think I need to see every little skitty detail. But I'm changing this oil at 200 hours. The book will tell you to change it at 50, and then again at something like 300 or 500. No, don't do that. I mean, this oil it's dark. I mean, you could probably get away with it, but I wouldn't recommend it. We use 1030 out here. 1540 actually works in higher heat situations. We're usually pretty temperate out here in Washington. And then of course we had a couple days that were almost 120 degrees or something crazy like that. So maybe that affected this a little bit. We weren't running it in those high heat situations, but we did have a couple hot days and the tractor got a little over warm, I think. But what are you gonna do? This guy, the plug for right there, that guy's a 7/8. I don't know if I talked about that last time. And you can't reach in there really and grab it. From what I've seen with a regular wrench, I had to use the ratchet here, because this little space here is pretty small once that plugs in there. And make sure too, there was a bunch of crud around here. I cleaned it away. You see how there's that that silver spot, because this guy goes on here. Make sure you either replace this. I don't have another one, so we'll just get away with it, changing the oil twice with the same one. But this is brass. That's what you want to use here. Don't use plastic or whatever. So once this oil stops dripping out, it goes on there like that and screws back on. So we will, again, we're not going to go through the whole oil change process, but I'm going to finish this up, let it drain out, change out the filter. Then we'll do a air filter and talk a little bit more about the tractor. You remember, if you watched that video, I had a lot of trouble taking this one off, and they gave me this one as a replacement. This is what the factory told me to use. Now they've moved back to that one. That one's a pain to get on and off. So I'm gonna go double check my books at work and make sure I didn't mess up. So yeah, no joke, this one was real tough to get off because there's a pipe here in the way. So I bought this guy just in case we got in this predicament again. So I don't know why they went back to that one in the books. Maybe I read the book wrong, but yeah, we shall see how this goes. Taking that filter off next time, because it was not fun. But using this guy, I got this guy from Matco. instead of that belt style filter remover. This guy can kind of get in there and jimmy with it better. So whatever, it'll be a while till I got to change that oil again. Maybe I'll fool somebody else into doing it. But yeah, if you want to see a real pain in the neck, go back to that first video. Oh, whoops. Oy, oy, oy. Horrible. All right, let's put some oil in this thing, see if it leaks out. So it's been about 200 hours. How's this tractor been holding up? Pretty good. We've been really happy with it. But we did have a failure. We had a hydraulic pipe that's under the seat. It's a hard pipe. It was way in there. It was a real booger to get to. Got a little hairline crack in it. Ready. Yep, so. Yeah, it's got a crack in it. And we lost about 6 gallons of hydraulic fluid out of it. And stuff like that happens, you know, no big deal. But, you know, with all these shortages that are going on during this pandemic thing, it took like a month and a half to get that hose. That was a real bummer. What was interesting is, you know, the hose was a hydraulic hose, but it was like a return line or something for the PTO. So all we couldn't do was use the PTO, so we couldn't mow. So I was out doing maintenance, mowing for all these blackberries we've cut down. You got to go out there and maintenance mow them all the time to finally kill them if you're not using poison with the lawnmower, which wasn't bad because it was so hot and dry out anyway. If you ran the brush cutter on this thing, man, it would just throw up so much dust. The lawnmower was bad enough, but it kind of stunk because areas that we did clear, we just pulled out the blackberries with the grapple, and then we've been piling them up, and we're gonna have to go through and mow them down. Now they're so dry, I really want to wait till it's a little more wet to do it, so that way if we get a spark, we don't start a fire. So that's what's going on there. Yeah, that was a real shame having that thing go out. And then the little handles for the auxiliary hydraulics that we use to run the what's that thing called? The grapple and the backhoe. So that's these little guys over here. These little blue and green handles right there. Those guys got loose, so when we were under the seat here, getting to this pipe under here, which I was going to do that at home, and I'm here to tell you that wasn't going to happen unless I had like teeny tiny little hands or something, because the pipe snaked around so far that they actually ended up taking one of the wheels off at our shop to get it off. So not the most fun if you're doing it at home. And then when I was going to bring it in to get it done, I ended up having a flat tire. So I had to jack up the tractor, bring the front tire in, get that fixed, get it home, put it on. Then the other tire's flat. Take that tire off. We couldn't find where the hole was. So we ended up tubing the thing. So I don't know why we just tubed the other tire, but Dan, my buddy who actually got me my job where I'm at, who runs the tire shop, he patched the thing personally. There was 3 nails went through it when I was clearing this pile of junk up. So yeah, be careful about driving over boards, I guess. So okay, how much oil does this thing need? Let's see. 3-hour check. Last page of the manual. Okay, how much oil do we need? 1.6 US gallons, of course. So what else has been going on with this tractor? It's been a champ. A lot of people are really concerned with these regen systems on these tractors, and regen's like a way of emissions control. Nobody trusts computers and yada yada yada, and I get it. I tell you, with this tractor, we were having a regen about every 10 hours, and it wasn't annoying or anything. It would get a bit hot, and sometimes it would take a while to go into its regen cycle because the engine has to be pretty hot to kick that regen on. So sometimes I'd be working and the little lights would be on, and I don't know what the lights mean, but it seems like the one with the temperature gauge in it that says regen with temperature gauge means it needs to get up to heat. So I'd run my RPMs up if I was doing loader work or something, and then it would regen, or I'd stop if I didn't have nothing better to do, and the thing would go into regen and be done in a couple minutes. So that was fine, but it was doing it like every 10 hours, and you know, sometimes you don't have a big job to do, you just have a job to do. And so that was a minor annoyance. And so what I did was I was using dyed fuel, like the off-road diesel that all the cool guys tell you to use. And don't do that. And I switched to on-highway fuel, and even though it's a little bit more money out here, I seem to be getting better fuel economy, and I'm getting regens every like 30 hours instead of every 10. Okay, almost there. I think we need 0.6 more gallons. That's about 2 quarts. The air filters I'm going to change, even though it says every 500 hours. We're going to do that now. And that'll be about it. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about our experiences with these tractors. Some people did try to give me some helpful suggestions, so we'll try them out here. They were saying to take these guys and move this air filter forward and we shouldn't have the problem. I think this tube won't reach if I do that, but then I'll be able to get my hand back here, so I don't know, we'll see. Open to get out of the air filter. Now again, book says like 300 or 500 hours. It has been so dusty these last 2 years, and we try to clean the air cleaner out periodically, but I'm gonna pop this thing out, you know, blow it out, leave it on the shelf for a backup, then put a new fresh one in, because it has been such a dusty year. We're just getting to the end of the year, so I'd rather go into winter just fresh oil, fresh air filter. That way if anything does go wrong, I'm not out in the back. Oh, that was easier. I got my hand back there a lot easier. Whoever that was on who commented and said, hey, move that thing forward, and I was like, that ain't gonna work. It won't move far enough. You were right. Kudos to you. You win. Oh yeah, look at this. Oh yeah, buddy. We just came in here with the air and blew this thing out, but oy, oy, oy. All right. The outer is filthy. Inner's not too bad. I don't care. I'm gonna take this inner out as well. That one actually looks pretty fine. In the manual, it actually suggests taking them out. You leave the inner air in. That's like I think they call that a safety filter. So it's supposed to have some real small holes. This is your main filter. It actually says just to take it out and bump it on something to clean it. Look at all that air or dirt. And I take this thing out all the time. It is just that dusty out here in the rainy Pacific Northwest. So let's talk a little bit about other people's experiences with this tractor. So I did a video on this thing, and there wasn't really anybody doing reviews on the MT342. There's a couple cats out there with the XR, which is the previous version. And this is just kind of, I think, a slightly updated version of that tractor. So there's not a lot of real changes. But anyways, I did have a lot of people coming into the store, because I work at a tractor shop, asking me about this tractor, and a lot of people buying them. And you know, we don't sell tons of this size of tractor. I'm kind of in a more suburban area-ish, you know, like rural suburban. So we sell a lot of compact and subcompact tractors. But we did see sales go up on these as awareness went up. And of all the tractors in this size that we've sold, these little MT3s, I really haven't had people having a lot of problems with them. Right now I'm cleaning this out with the dirty rag. So far it seems like they have a pretty good track record. I'm the only person I've heard of that's blown that hose. So maybe it was just bad luck. Folks have been wanting backhoes for them because they have a really burly backhoe. I love the backhoe on this tractor. It digs deep, it digs hard. It's great, and we've got some projects coming up. We've already dug some drainage with it. We got some projects coming up, putting in new water lines and stuff like that. And I'm really looking forward to operating the backhoe on this thing. Easy to put on, easy to take off. The buckets are a pain to take on and put off. Maybe I just do it wrong. They need a quick detach on it. But And that's the long and short of it with these guys. They're a very solid tractor, this MT3 series is. I feel like everything's pretty ergonomic. There's some fit and finish stuff, you know, like little handles getting loose and stuff like that, which kind of I don't love. But no, they're great. Future. Well, that's about it, I guess. We got the tractor maintenance. We didn't lose any fingers this time. All right, I'm gonna clean up my mess and I guess get back to work. All right, guys, we'll see you around. Thanks for hanging out with me. We're in regen mode. Oh, it'll be okay. We're just gonna keep working.